Welcome to this video tutorial where we will be building a 3D spaceship simulator from scratch using Java. In this tutorial, we will explore Java's capabilities for rendering 3D graphics, as well as implementing basic spaceship controls. Let's start by setting up our development environment. We will be using Java Development Kit, JDK, version 17, and an IDE of your choice. I recommend IntelliJ IDEA or Eclipse. First, make sure to download and install the Java JDK. Once installed, open your IDE and create a new Java project. Let's name our project Spaceship Simulator. Next, we need to include a 3D graphics library. For this tutorial, we will use JavaFX because it's easy to set up and allows us to create rich graphics applications. Import the JavaFX library into your project. If you're using Maven, add the following dependencies to your pom.xml. Let's create our main application class where we will initialize the JavaFX application. Create a class named main and extend application. Now, let's add some 3D components to our scene. JavaFX uses a special class for 3D shapes called FongMaterial. We will create a simple 3D spaceship object using basic shapes like boxes and a cylinder. We've created the basic 3D spaceship structure. Next, we need to include this spaceship into our scene. In the start method of the main class, we will instantiate our spaceship class and add it to the scene's root. Let's compile and run our application to visualize our spaceship. You should see a blue spaceship in the center of the window. If you are not seeing the spaceship, double-check your code for any typographical errors. Now that we have a basic spaceship model, let's implement rotation controls. To make our spaceship interactive, we'll respond to keyboard inputs. We'll handle the user key pressed event to rotate the spaceship. Compile and run your application once more. Now you should be able to move your spaceship left, right, up, and down using the arrow keys. Next, we will enhance our spaceship simulator by adding movement along the z-axis to simulate flying forward and backward. We will achieve this by adjusting the position along the z-axis when the W and S keys are pressed. Run the application again and test the movement. Your spaceship should now be able to fly forwards with W and backwards with S. Now, let's add some visual flair to our spaceship simulator by changing the colors and adding textures. You can create your own textures or use free image resources. Integrate this material creation into the spaceship class. Replace the existing material with the newly created textured material to give your spaceship a unique look. Compile and run your application. You should see your spaceship sporting a new texture, adding a more realistic touch to our simulator. As we enhance our spaceship further, let's make it possible to rotate around the y-axis, which simulates bank turns. To achieve this, we'll add rotation based on user input. Incorporate this into your key press logic. You can define a constant for rotation speed to control how quickly the spaceship rotates. Compile again, and you should now be able to perform bank turns using the E and D keys. Now that we have the mechanics down, let's add a background and stars to make the simulator feel more immersive. We can create a simple star field using JavaFX shapes. Call the Create Star Field method in your main application class after adding the spaceship to the root. This will generate a field of stars populating the simulated space. Compile and run your application, and you should see stars twinkling against the dark backdrop of space. The simulator is coming together nicely. To conclude, let's add the ability to reset the spaceship's position with the R key. Incorporate this into your current key press event handler. This will allow players to quickly reset their spaceship's position and orientation. Compile and run the program once again to verify that the reset functionality works as expected. Now you have a functional 3D spaceship simulator, complete with movement and rotation controls. This is just the beginning. You can expand this project by adding enemy ships, asteroids, and more complex environments. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more Java programming tutorials. Feel free to leave any questions or comments below. Happy coding!